the incredible tale of a most unusual character. Rated PG-13. Select engagements start December 7th. Opens December 14th everywhere.
Yes, sir. Mod Tricker, back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be continuing my Oktoberfest with some of the most mysterious videos in the world. But before we hop into that, go ahead and spam that like button right now so we can run the numbers up on the algorithm. And you don't even got to think about it later. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that sub button too. Sub up, join the family. This is the most lit and active community on YouTube, period. With that being said, guys, let's hop straight into the video. I have no idea what this blue stuff is, but I would throw the whole 2-piece away, because if you eat this, you might actually shapeshift into Colonel Sanders.
So we all just got woken up to some disturbing sound all through the whole area. I just called 911 and they said they've gotten like over 50 calls about it.
It's most likely a tunnel boring machine or some sort of construction equipment, but it sounds like Godzilla, so I could be wrong.
They did research for a movie and they were using actual spells to do it, and everyone got sick with some disease they hadn't seen in thousands of years. Vampire Diaries too. They had witches from Salem actually say you don't know what you're dabbling with, because apparently they were pulling like actual curses and using them in the filming of that.
I mean, you think about it, like how the governments use witches and occult stuff in their own psyop experiments and, you know, everything like that. So it's like Pentagon has their own thing for cinema and for film. Like, who knows, man?
It's weird.
It's strange. It just makes you want to become a monk. They list out everything that they lived with, and it's like, maybe that is a little bit of how we're supposed to be living.
I know.
Very minimalistly.
Think about music too, though. The psalms are supposed to be like actual penned notes, so you can take the psalms and actually like play the music that was the melody that was intended to be played. But if that's true, then that would imply that music, sometimes when we hear something, like think about that opening hook. I'm just using Harry Potter because we're talking about it, but you know, dun 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 dun, you know, like that opening thing. Why does that make us feel mysterious and odd? It's like if they are dabbling in things, could the unsettling be actual auditory? Maybe it's not an actual spell, but it puts you in a place to be susceptible to something.
It doesn't matter if you film in a movie or not. Once you start doing actual spells and you get actually cursed, it's hard for me to feel bad for you. I would barely be able to balance a broom upright like this if I tried intentionally. She need a full ride scholarship to Hogwarts.
Major breaking news in the Three-Eye Atlas case. NASA has for the first time ever activated planetary defense systems. NASA's Planetary Defense Network has just added Three-Eye Atlas, a Manhattan-sized interstellar object, to its list of potential threats. Scientists say it's emitting an alloy not found in nature, defying all known comet behavior and emitting a light. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb says it could even be alien technology, probably a probe using the sun's gravity to change course. NASA is launching a comet campaign this winter to track it. They're calling it a test, but others are saying it's a warning. What do you think? And I'll keep you updated.
I want to believe that Three-Eye Atlas is an actual alien mothership, but the way the mainstream media has been fear-mongering is the perfect setup for Project Bluebeam. I won't believe it until I get abducted.
Now, this is on a man's surveillance camera deep in Michigan. He said that he has several missing animals. His partner, his dog, he had a bloodhound, all of a sudden became missing. And, you know, there's a website called the North American Dogman Project for people who say they are seeing a upright mammal that looks like pretty much a werewolf. And we've covered this topic before here on Off the Grid. It goes back to 1610 with Catherine Cross. On her tombstone, it said by human wolves. So you got to think about all of this. So this photo right here was captured on a man's security surveillance home, on his home. You know, he hadn't been to his cabin since he'd seen this photo. So, you know, and this is a man who has an artillery of weapons. You know, he believes in the right to bear arms. And he said, you know, it's just not worth it. You know, he has a family. He said, you know, the footprints were almost size 20.
When Dogman started to be talked about more, they came out with the movie and the book series Dogman. And so when you Google that's what pops up now instead, is the children's book and the children's video. So I wonder if that's another like Disney's Frozen kind of thing to just kind of muddy the waters if you're going to try to research too deep into it.
If this picture is real, then the Dogman is actually terrifying. It looks like a human-sized labradoodle. Your only chance of survival is convincing it to come with you to Starbucks and getting it a pup cup. When it comes to these major brands and corporations, everything you see on the packaging has been approved of by somebody, so this is very intentional. Now I understand why they say don't drink the Kool-Aid.
This has always been a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist type topic, but if you look at where we're at today with the nanotech, we now know that this is conspiracy fact. There's a gentleman by the name of Dr. Ido Bachelet. In 2013, he gave a TED-Med talk. He's holding up a 1cc syringe, and he's saying, I just brought this from my lab, and then the tip of this needle are 1,000 billion robots, 2,000 times the width of a human hair. Not only does he brag about these robots being in the syringe, talks about how it's a benefit to humanity. And I would agree with him in one aspect. Technology in and itself is not good or bad. It's who is in control of the technology. He also expresses to the audience how these nanorobots basically are designed to be controlled by computer code, various languages. And he teaches his students how to control these things with an Xbox controller.
Are they electronic components? How are they being powered? How are they keeping power?
They keep power through the piezoelectric effect. Our body naturally produces a certain amount of amperage. There's a thing called graphene oxide. It's the main component that allows these things to self-assemble, self-replicate.
I'm sure these robots could be used for medical purposes, but I don't trust that that's all they're being used for, because it sounds like DARPA's smart dust.
The Naga Cave, otherwise known as a snake cave of Thailand, received its nickname for a good reason. Parts of the cave clearly resemble that of a structure of a giant snake. Although scientists have concluded that the cave received its appearance through thermal expansion and water erosion, others believe that it's the petrified remains of a giant snake, and others simply believe it was man-made. Do you really believe that this was a cause of water erosion?
It seems like every time archaeologists discover something that contradicts the mainstream narrative, they always resort to water erosion. You can't tell me this isn't a giant Burmese python.
If you're a Swiftie, you are going to hate me for saying this. This is Taylor Swift in 2006. Sweet, country vibes, she's fun, she's safe, and all the children in the world sang along with her. This is Taylor Swift in 2008. Love story. Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. It's just a fairy tale. It's innocent, it's playful. It makes all the kids happy. This is Taylor Swift in 2012. Red, I knew you were trouble. Now we're getting into heartbreak. Now things are getting messy, a little wild, but it's still catchy. And because she had the children's hearts, they'll go along with her. This is Taylor Swift in 2014 singing that viral song Blank Space. Got a long list of lovers. They will tell you I'm insane. There's drama now, gossip, scandal, and slowly the darkness is creeping in. But the teens still love it because it's Taylor Swift after all. We trust her. This is Taylor Swift in 2017 on a Reputation album. Look What You Made Me Do. Now we have anger, revenge, shade, and even a slight witchy vibe. But you still sing along, even though she's playing with fire. This is Taylor Swift in 2020 in Willow. Life is like a willow, bending but not breaking. We've now got magical, hypnotic vibes, and it's almost as if she's casting spells on people without them even noticing. And this is Taylor Swift in 2022 in Midnights. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Again, we're getting more darker. Again, things are getting a little bit more twisted, and yet people cannot stop listening. Finally, this is Taylor Swift in 2025. The Life of a Showgirl. Her darkest album yet, and some of the lyrics are so bad that I would blush to even share them with you on the internet. So, over to you. Can you see what's happening here? It started sweet, it started innocent, it started dreamy, but step by step, album by album, it got darker and darker, weirder and weirder, until it even became quite witchy.
If she went from being an innocent country singer in 2006 to being emo in 2025, by 2026 she gonna be Michelle Lemay Jr. I'm pretty sure that laser is a LiDAR system used to create 3D maps. It's just suspicious that they're scanning a residential neighborhood and the plane belongs to a private owner. I don't know why she's sending this video to her husband. She needs to send it to Pope Leo.
Almost 100% sure that they taught us that blood was blue inside the body until it hits oxygen and then it turns red. And I just saw a video of a 6th grade teacher talking about why do her 6th graders think that blood is blue. And my first thought was, how do you, as a teacher, not know that blood is blue until it hits oxygen? And then I looked it up, and apparently that was never true. So now I'm wondering, because I could have sworn they taught us this in schools. Like, I don't even know if this is a Mandela effect or if this is just like misinformation completely, or if they are like they just lied to it. Wait, who else thinks that blood is blue? Actually, let me ask my husband. Hold on, wait, babe, when your blood is inside your body, what color is it?
Blue.
See, it's not okay, so apparently that's never been true. Like, blood has always been red. That's just a myth.
It's only red when
it hits oxygen. Thank you. Okay, so apparently that's just a myth. So I feel like they taught us this in schools, but my mom's also in the medical field and also taught me this. Like, this is gonna, what the
I was definitely taught that blood is blue in your veins until it touches oxygen. The American education system failed me.
3 Minneapolis police officers reported observing a spherical UAP made up of 6 interlocking rings of coloured lights hovering at 10,000 feet. The object moved with both slow and hypersonic acceleration before rapidly relocating north. And this was shot through a pair of binoculars, and this is a photo that they shot as well, which is absolutely insane. This doesn't appear on flight radar. There's no flight data on this object, and this comes as a report from Finland yesterday, seeing the same object at 35,000 feet. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty damn biblical to me, wouldn't you say? 6 colourful interlocking rings. Witnessed by 3 officers, passers-by, making no noise, no flight data, with no questions or answers to what this object could have been. And look at the state of that, bruv. Again, was reported by pilots in Finland the day before at an altitude of around 35,000 feet. Biblically accurate angel confirmed. Big up.
Just when I thought 2025 couldn't get any stranger, we got an alien mothership in our solar system in Ezekiel's will over Minneapolis.
One of the biggest mysteries from the Louvre heist is why the thieves didn't steal this diamond. And I personally think it's because this is one of the most cursed objects at the Louvre, and I think the thieves knew that. This is the Regent diamond. It's a 140 carat diamond that's estimated to be about $60 million. The curse is said to have started the moment the diamond was removed from the earth. This diamond comes from India around 1700, and according to the legend, it was actually an enslaved person who removed the diamond and then was immediately in cold blood so that an English ship captain could take it. And I mean, we don't have to get technical about it, but it's kind of already a stolen object. Now for reference, the thieves made off with $102 million worth of gems, and this diamond is right next to the other ones that they stole, which kind of made investigators think that they intentionally left it behind. But what they didn't realize is this is one of the most cursed objects at the Louvre. It's said to be worn by all sorts of French royalty who met really grisly endings. It was Napoleon Bonaparte's favorite decoration for his swords, and he would go on to die in exile. It was also a favorite gem of Marie Antoinette and her husband Louis XVI, who both of them would go on to be guillotined.
If that's the case, then they're smart for leaving this diamond alone, because they probably would have got struck down by lightning before they even made it back to the getaway car.
Wait, hold up. Let me get this straight. So one of the richest men on earth wants you to have a digital ID, and that's just the beginning. Larry Ellison, the owner of Oracle and now TikTok, not only said he wants our data centralized with an AI surveillance system, but he also said this.
Citizens will be on their best behavior, because we're constantly recording and reporting everything.
Citizens will be on their best behavior. That sounds like a very dark dystopian future. And speaking of citizens, these people are protesting as we speak in the streets of London with signs that say no to digital ID. And why does this seem like a bigger overall plan in Europe? Because not only they're pushing a digital ID, but a CBDC as well, a central bank digital currency, in which is being pushed by this woman, the president of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde.
Put to reality this digital euro. The deadline for us is going to be October of 25. and we all get.
This is why education is key, you guys. Here's a trick bag. So they don't want you buying Bitcoin and other decentralized protocols, but they want you to buy their crypto, a CBDC, controlled by them and only them. And if you guys don't think this can happen, well, it's already happening in China right now with digital IDs and a social credit score.
A couple days ago, my uncle and my cousin helped me get a cell phone that is linked to a Chinese bank card so that I could buy anything.
And if that's not bad enough, they even have facial recognition technology for kids to get inside their own schools. And I'll say it once and I'll say it again. They always put it in the movies. Remember that episode on Black Mirror years ago where they had a social credit score system? Well, surprise, surprise. It's here.
They could try to force this system on us as much as they want, but it only works with our participation.
At what point is this no longer a coincidence? We have Men in Black from 1997. And in this corner over here, you have a plane flying. If you zoom in, there's a plane flying across the screen. Then the screen changes to the Twin Towers. And then the scene changes once again to a plume of dust and debris and smoke. Is that a coincidence? Ask yourself the question. Now, if that's not enough for you, in the movie The Patriot, the first words that were uttered in that movie was 9 pounds, 11 ounces, perfect. That's Mel Gibson's opening dialogue, and that came out a year before 9/11. In Back to the Future, after the clock tower gets detonated, explodes, etc., we have a 9 and an 11 leading up to the tower. And that's not to mention also what happened in the Twin Pine Mall parking lot in the other Back to the Future. The Simpsons also has all kinds of symbology around 9/11 as well. But I'm sure this is just nothing.
It's hard for me to believe that this is all just a coincidence when there are so many examples of predictive programming. The people who run this world are just sticking to the script.
So in honor of spooky season, I have one picture that I got from a coworker years ago that is the greatest example of a ghost in a picture that I've ever seen. And the reason that I don't doubt its authenticity is because it is a live photo, and I'll show you how I'll do the live photo so you can see the ghost kind of swooping in. You ready for it? Okay, so this is the hiking picture. The girl didn't see anything on the hike, but I'll zoom in here and you will see her in a second. Boom. There she is. Look how pretty she is. Her sunken eyes and her smile. There's the live photo. I'll get a better angle there. I'll do it again. You can see her swooping. And then from farther away, you can just see right by her head. You can just see her swooping in. It's pretty spooky, man. I mean, it's hard to say that this isn't a real thing.
If I was hiking and this thing popped up on me like a reptilian jack-in-the-box, I would start swinging from the trees like Tarzan to get back to the car.
Some film producers, like the producers who make the film Star Wars, often show creatures in their films which actually exist, which even the most uneducated of Africans who knows this Chitauli can identify. For example, in the new Star Wars film, what is it called? Star Wars or something like that. There is a creature who amazes me called Darth Maul. Darth Maul is a red and black being with a ring of small holes right round his head. That is exactly what the Chitauli look like. Some have got ordinary heads without any form on their heads. These are the lesser Chitauli. But the royal Chitauli have got a ring of sharp horns all around their heads. And the very high Chitauli, like their king, Mubava from Mahongo, they have got very long horns which grow this way. Not that way like a horse, but this way like certain antelopes. Now, I wonder, I just wonder where these people producer get their information.
I don't know where they get their information, but I do believe that they put a lot of truth in movies, so I wouldn't be surprised if the real life Darth Maul was actually King Charles.
Did you all see this video? So, former governor of Nuevo León in Mexico, Jaime Rodriguez Calderon, recently posted to social media, his Facebook page, the other day, showing this compilation of videos, allegedly from security footage from around his property, showing these strange orbs of light that show up on a fairly regular basis. And these clips are really interesting. There are these lights hovering up and down nearby hillsides or just over the ground, going apparently into the ground as well. Sometimes there's multiple in the same shot. And there's also one here that seems to kind of crash and explode. And I feel like not enough people are talking about this, but from what I've seen, a lot of people in comment sections are calling these things witches or brujas. Others think they are just plain old UFOs or some kind of atmospheric phenomena, NHI tech, something interdimensional, or maybe they're just drones or the whole thing is just a hoax. The jury is out on this still. And if you didn't know, this kind of phenomenon, sometimes called ghost lights, has been reported all over the world for centuries. Some of the most notable ones being the Marfa lights in Texas, the Brown Mountain lights in North Carolina, the Hestalian lights in Norway. You've also got the Hornet Spook light in Missouri, the Naga fireballs in Thailand, the Min Min light in Australia, or the Longdendale lights in the UK, among many others.
In my opinion, it kind of looks like a plasma being, but the only thing that makes me question if this is real or not is the fact that it was posted by a politician. I feel like these days this could either be AI or actual footage of Planet Nibiru.
All right, the health insurance industry is an absolute sham. I don't know how I'm paying $1,500 a month for health insurance, but every single person in my policy has a $6,000 copay, which means I've been going to the doctor all year. I thought my copays went towards our premiums and the amount that we had to pay to get coverage. However, it doesn't. My wife just had a serious event. She had to go to the hospital. She had to have life-saving surgery. And we got a bill in the mail from the hospital for over $3,000 for this procedure. And I'm thinking back, like, I'm paying $1,500 a month for this health insurance. I've personally paid thousands of dollars of, like, over the course of this year in copays for myself and stuff that I had to go to the doctors for. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm going to spend $1,500 a month for the next 12 months. What is that? Like 18 grand. And then I have to spend $6,000 a person just to get them to cover things. So you're looking at, we have 5 people in our family. If all of us have to go to the hospital, that's $30,000 in copays that we have to pay on top of the $18,000 in monthly charges to actually get coverage. As a father of 3, I'm strongly considering canceling our health insurance policy, which feels very irresponsible and wrong, but I can't remember the last time I spent over $48,000 in a year in health costs between copays and health insurance and all of this stuff. If I just pay cash, I'm never going to pay anywhere near that amount. For instance, the surgery my wife just had, if we paid cash on that surgery and we didn't have insurance, it would have ran us about $1,200. But because we had insurance and the insurance wasn't going to cover it, we have to pay what the insurance was going to pay, which is over $3,000. Are other families seeing the same thing? Maybe I'm just being unreasonable and crashing out here, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
When you actually think about it, health insurance is pretty much a legal scam. You can pay your monthly premiums every month on time, but unless you also pay your full copay amount, if the doctor even puts a band-aid on you, they're going to charge you $10,000 for it.
Oh, bro. It's going up in your car. Going up in your car. It's going in my car? Yeah. Yeah. Wait, stop.
If this was me, my car would still be parked in this drive-thru because I'm getting out and running.
And I was walking the coastline, and this Japanese man walks up to me,
very elderly, walking the coastline. He says, "You from America?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I've been to America." I said, "You have? When did you go to America?" He says, 1944. I said, "Oh, that's a long time ago." He said, "Yeah." He said, "I went Grand Canyon." I said, "What were you doing at Grand Canyon?" He says, "During war." He says, 600 Japanese brought to America to tunnel through Grand Canyon. Dynamite. He says, "We were blowing up Grand Canyon." I said, "Well, what was the purpose? What were you mining for?" He says, "Not mining." He says, "Looking." I said, "Well," the interpreter said, "Explain." And he says, "Looking for big giants. Looking for giants." And he got really quiet, and he got really quiet. And he said, I not tell all these years, not tell. He says, family, I tell, promise not tell." And I told the interpreter, I says, "Tell him he's safe, that he does need to tell." He says, "You know about giants?" I said, "Yes, I know about Nephilim, yes." He says, "You do?" And I said, "Yes." He says, And he got really quiet. And he talked to my interpreter, and then he said, "Tell American, I go Grand Canyon." He says, "Enter into big mine, big doors, 20 feet high, big solid doors." He says, "We blew the doors open." This is coming from the interpreter now. "Blew the doors open, and out come big giants. We flee for our life." He says, "Some not get away, and some not get away. Some." I asked my interpreter, "What did they do at that point?" He says, "Brought in big helicopters, take us out, but put us in confinement for days and days and days and days. And they weren't going to let us out because we might tell. But finally, the interpreters told me that they finally, after days and days and days of them being in confinement, they finally let the few that were left go back to Japan." And he not tell all those years. And that was in 2012. He had not told anybody about the giants that they found. And they were alive, and they were vicious.
If this story is true, it makes a lot of sense now why so many areas of the Grand Canyon are off limits to the public. It's pretty much a Nephilim supermax. I don't know how they managed to turn this apartment into a hockey rink. I just know they better not let the landlord see this or they never getting that security deposit back. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.